Hello, YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So, I just wanted to hopefully make a short video about transgender regret. Look, I think when we talk about transitioning, we can never really get away from the fact that not everybody who has surgery, not everybody who transitions is happy with the result or goes off and lives happily ever after. In fact, it's often that, the suicide attempts and all of that and the depression and all of that sometimes stays the same or is made even worse after the person has transitioned. So I can only talk about my story. I'm not going to talk about anybody else's story, just mine. So let's get into it. It was 2010 and I had just come back from Arkansas. I was broke and broken. And I knew at that time that I knew what I was and I knew that I needed to transition. But I was so afraid. I was scared. And I had good reason to be scared. I knew what people were like in South Africa, especially cisgender people. I knew that our society just had not advanced to a point where it wouldn't be a big deal. So I knew it would be a massive, massive change in my life, but it was a change that I needed in order to keep having a life. Because there was no way I was going to continue pretending to be somebody that I felt that I wasn't on the inside. But there's so many things that I regret about my transition and so many mistakes. And I think my biggest regret is I was somebody who had an external locus of control. I believed that it was external factors that led to my internal happiness. I desperately needed the world to validate me. I desperately needed people to see it for me. I desperately needed to be, I was like any other 21-year-old. I wanted acceptance, but I also wanted to transition and to live in my truth. Now, those two things seldom go together. I think the one thing I would have said to my younger self is, girl, cisgender people don't know anything about your trans lived experience. And looking for any answers in the cis world is only going to leave you more confused. So I started college the following year. I was a bit older. I was 21, 22 when I started college. And I spent the whole of 2011 basically in therapy in preparation for my transition. I remember feeling like I needed to convince every psychologist that, I was trans. I walked into those psychologist's office, those therapist's office with an agenda, girl. I wanted the psychologist to see me as I felt that I really was. And, I had one psychologist who was really, really supportive. And I saw her, I think, 2011 in my freshman year. And then I saw her the second year in 2012. It was only in 2013 that I actually did transition. Girl, I was so needy for people's approval, and I think needing people's approval and also being afraid of transphobia, it was just a disaster waiting to happen. Because at the end of the day, there was nothing that I could have done. There was no amount of preparation Like there was nothing I could have done that would have made the journey easier. My ass, literally, girl, I had tests done on me. I went to go see doctors. I think in the 3 years of college, I probably saw 5 doctors. I spoke to my college professors and I prepped them and I told all of them before I transitioned. Girl, they still treated me like trash. It didn't matter that I was upfront about it. I told my friends. I told people who I thought were my friends. Everyone knew, everyone knew before I even did anything. And I think by doing that, deep inside, I was really saying, please accept me. Please validate me. Please be okay with this. And the thing is, that's my biggest regret, is giving other people so much power over my story. Giving people, like listening to opinions, listening to the good opinions of other people. I remember in 2013, I came across someone called Abraham Hicks, and she once famously said, if you knew your ability to feel good, you would ask no one to be different so that you can feel good. You would free yourself from that cumbersome impossibility of trying to control the world, because it's only you who decides how you feel about something. Yes, external forces, other people treating you like shit, other people being nasty to you, all of that weighs on you heavily, but it becomes almost like a death sentence if you agree with what they're saying. Look, I was the type of person, girl, if you had said something about my braids or my lips or my, whatever physical, I would have dissolved into tears. And that to me shows me now that I really, really wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I needed to first find out who I was. And I believed that who I was this feminine version or this idea of a female that I had in my head. Look, I'm just going to be real with you guys. I'm a trans woman, not a cisgender woman. I was never conditioned as a woman. So in my early teens, in my 20s, I felt female, but I'd never had the conditioning of a female. I never had the lived experience of a female. Femininity was something that was in my head and in my heart, but nothing that I'd experienced. So I was looking at all these girls, wanting them to accept me, have me in their groups, see it for me. I was looking at all of these guys to sort of find me attractive. Girl, I didn't even find half of these men attractive. I didn't even know if I was into men at that stage. You know what I mean? But I so desperately needed other people to tell me that I was female. And that's not something anyone else could have done for me. It's not. So you better believe when I transitioned, it was a hot, hot mess. I mean, I tried to transition in 2012 and I got bullied by these religious people into detransitioning, which, led to a whole lot of depression and, me trying to unearth myself. It was only in 2013 when I took the decision that, I'm going to do this no matter what. But even at that stage, I was still trying to get people to like me. So my biggest regret is caring about what these people thought. My biggest regret is every argument I had with someone trying to convince them that I was valid. No one outside of me needs to think that I'm valid. Hell, I mean, I don't think half the people walking in the street next to me are valid. You know what I mean? So it's kind of comical to think that other people liking me or thinking that I'm a cis female or thinking that I am beautiful was going to make me feel good. I regret how much I cared about what y'all thought. That's honestly one of my biggest regrets. My second regret is following a form of Christianity or religiosity that was not supportive of who I was. Girl, I remember, tell me why, I was such a baby. Tell me why I'm sitting, in college, I'm on my laptop typing, what does the Bible say about transgender people? Girl, Christians haven't even decided how they feel about baptism. Christians haven't even decided if they want to be Anglican, Protestant, Catholic, or fundamentalist. So, expecting Christians to give me a straight answer about me, girl, please. So I honestly regret trying to take aspects or elements from my male past into my female future. And we do that. Girl, we do that. I honestly, I was so desperate for God or the universe to love me and approve of me that I never asked myself the question, bitch, do you even love yourself? Have you even gotten to point A? You're busy with point F and all the other letters. When are you going to get to point A? So I really had to grow through that. Not go through it, grow through it. I also regret every time I try to make cisgender people feel comfortable at the expense of myself. Like, every time I would make transgender jokes or every time that I would purposefully make my voice deeper to sort of make cisgender people laugh, every time that I would bring out pictures of when I was a boy, and every time I showed it to them, like, why? Like, why? Girl, these people wouldn't even show you their bank balance. You're busy telling them your life story, showing them pictures of your genitalia, embarrassing yourself, doing the absolute most for someone who's not even going to do the least for you. So, I definitely regret the effort I put into other people, because all the effort that I put into other people was wasted time that I could have used, hydrating, focusing on myself, masturbating, freaking watching porn, like doing something else other than caring about them. So I regret it. I definitely regret those elements of my transition. The things that I don't regret about my transition is living in my truth and being honest. I stumbled, I made mistakes. It's 10 years after the fact. And I look fabulous. I look amazing. I love it. And it's not so much the physical transformation, but it's the transformation in my soul. That's been the biggest thing. And for you starting your transition, bitch, you're beautiful, but you didn't need me to say it. What do I know? You need to know it for you. Don't ever apologize for being yourself. Don't ever. I love you. Stay cool. Okay, bye.